Good day. Thank you for joining us with Adventures in Africa with Doc. Thank you so much for your faithfulness to coming back to these podcasts week after week. I've so enjoyed getting them ready and actually doing the interviews. And tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll get into your adventure in Africa.
Yeah, so my name is Kailey. I go to Hilltop Church in Waukee. I got the honor of being on their launch team, so I've been there from the beginning, and it's been an amazing journey. I'm originally from South Dakota, so I'm a transplant in Iowa, but I've been here for almost 10 years now, so it's definitely home. I work for a nonprofit in the area that works with kids with autism. So that's what I do on my day job, but I'm really passionate about ministry. I get to serve at Hilltop's youth ministry. And yeah, I was very, very honored to be able to go to Africa again. This is actually my second time to Africa. But yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Yes, I'm so excited that you were able to go on this team, and especially that you're in leadership with your church.
Yeah, it was such a gift to be able to go on Hilltop's first missions trip and to go with some of my absolute best friends. And so yeah, it was all a gift.
Great. Well, let's hear about your first trip to Africa. I wasn't aware that you had been over to the continent before.
Yeah, I got the opportunity to go to Africa in 2018 with actually my family. There was 11 of us that went, and
Oh, wow. That was
yeah,
a good team.
we had a big group. It was my dad and my stepmom, a couple of my aunts and uncles and cousins. So, and we actually went to Botswana, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe. And so it was a leisure trip. So we went like on a couple safaris, and we ended our trip in Mozambique on a beach resort. I think what was so meaningful to me was the first trip to Africa was all about, fun, entertainment. We obviously got to meet some people there, but being able to go back and actually meet the people of Africa and serve them was really meaningful to me when I was there in 2018. There was this tension of, here I am on this nice resort with hot water and all the food I could imagine. And then we drive the bus out and we're driving to our next excursion. And I see, women walking on the dirt path with the babies strapped to their back with the water can on their head. And there's that tension in your heart about, oh, here I am just having fun. And that's the reality. So.
But this time you got to help people.
Yes. Yeah.
And it really puts joy in our hearts when you're able to serve and help people.
Yeah. And I will say the resorts that I stayed at, if you look at those and then compare them to the Lodge of Dreams, you guys have done a phenomenal job. That place is beautiful. It's very comparable to some of the resorts that I stayed at. Just the beauty of the actual buildings, and the accommodations were so nice. It was like you got there and you immediately felt like family from the staff, but then you also just felt comfortable. It was really, really nice.
Well, thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
It really came to me as kind of an Iowa theme. We have the Field of Dreams in Eastern Iowa.
Yeah,
And
okay.
I remember them saying, you build it and they will come. And so we built that beautiful lodge as one of the first things that we did.
Really?
And our goal was to get lots and lots of mission teams to come and serve with us. The first 5 years or so we were there, it looked like nothing was happening. We just had to put some infrastructure together.
Yeah.
And boy, the last several years have been just so full of joy, and just feels rewarding to see all the things that God is doing.
Yeah.
What particularly did you enjoy about your trip with Hilltop?
Man, there was a lot. I loved being with that team. There was something special about watching some of your closest friends, like watching them serve too, and get to experience Africa for the first time. So that was special to me. But then just, I don't know, gosh, some things that stand out was just the opportunities that we got to like get to know the children, whether they were teenagers or little guys, just to get to know them and to pray over them. Those were some of the most impactful moments for me, because I just felt like some of them didn't ever get that undivided attention from someone who was like, hey, I see you. you're made like on purpose. There's so much plans for you. So I think those were the moments that I just like lit up inside, where I was like, this is what I came here for, is to like be serving these kids and serving the people. So I love that we got to see all the things that are, not all, maybe not all, but we get to see a lot of the things that you're doing, that Blessman is doing to serve the people of South Africa. I felt like I came in with an idea of all the ways you're serving, but it's so past my expectation of the level of impact that you guys have
Wow.
there.
Well, you mentioned sustainability, and that's one of the most difficult things for mission groups, especially missionaries that are feeding kids. I have been in missions for many, many years now, and I worked with a lot of Assembly of God missionaries, and many of them were very much against starting feeding programs because they're just very hard to sustain.
Yeah.
We are so blessed to be in this wonderful state of Iowa with Meals from the Heartland and Convoy of Hope that has helped us keep our feeding program sustainable and fairly large. We're feeding 40 to 50,000 kids 5 days a week. So, uh, I were you able to package the Meals from the Heartland before you went to Africa?
Yeah, we have done it a couple times, in some of our like life groups. We've gone and volunteered there. So in the young adult ministry. So yeah, I did get to pack. So that was cool to be on both sides of it, packing their rice in Iowa and then actually serving it in South Africa. That was a awesome experience.
We love hearing that.
I mean, something that I felt like the Lord was highlighting to me while I was there is that to be great in the kingdom of God, you will serve, right? You will you will serve, and you'll lower yourself. And so I think something that I left thinking about, and it's still kind of rolling around in my brain, is seeing some of the Blessed Men staff, and then also just other individuals that we came across, but that are great in the kingdom of God because their whole life is serving. Like, this is not just their 9 to 5, Tuesday through Thursday. Like, they are on the ground all the time. This is their life. They're serving their community in whatever way they can. Some of them don't even have that much, but they are giving a lot. And so I think that was something that meant a lot, to even just get to learn from them. And just, I think about, forgive me, I don't remember her name right now, but the woman that runs the baby house.
Oh, Sandra.
Sandra, we got there and immediately she's like passionately talking about, working there for 20 years and all the things she's seen and how she advocates for these children. She fights for them. Like, she takes care of them. And I just remember standing and being like, this is her life. This is who she is. Like, she serves. And yeah, she started crying and we're all crying. And I'm like, wow, I haven't even seen the babies yet. And so she was talking about too, how they're starting to see more kids that have disabilities. And of course, for me, working in a nonprofit for kids with disabilities, that kind of hit right at the heart, that they're seeing more of these disabilities. And so people are maybe less likely to adopt because they're intimidated or whatever it may be. But she was telling us about a specific little one that had Down syndrome and how she had been fighting for this child to be placed. And the child actually was already 4 years old and no one had adopted the baby. But then right before we got there, they found someone in America that was going to adopt them. And so we were celebrating with her, but also, yeah, just listening to her passionately talk about, fighting for these kids and loving them. And so.
Oh, we love Sandra, and we've been a great supporter of her. And many of our American friends that have visited specifically designate they want their funds to go to that baby
Yeah,
shelter
I
because they
think,
do a beautiful, beautiful job.
yeah,
And it's not easy, like you say. She lives a fairly impoverished life herself. This
yeah,
baby shelter is right in her home,
yeah,
and so it's 27, 28 children there all the time. And she has a pretty good sized staff, but very tiny compared to taking care of that many
yeah,
children.
yeah.
It's
And I think that what something that I noticed a lot was, anywhere that we went, that Blessman supports, they're there was so much, like, it was so colorful and fun and inviting looking versus some of the other places you would see. So even the baby house, it was like painted nice and bright and colorful. And, there was a fun like playground outside and things for the kids to play on. And then, so yeah, I thought that was so, it matched Blessman because I was like, there's bringing joy and hope. And that's exactly what the building looks like. So
Yeah, no, they've been a very good partner of ours for a long time. My Rotary even helps them too. And so they are fairly well supported, but they need more help than they get.
yes.
But I'm so happy with what they're doing. And I'm so happy that it's maybe going to get a little easier to adopt children outside of just the South African population.
Yeah.
Because the South African culture is not as much in favor, or they just don't do adoptions as often as we do here in America.
Yeah.
There are thousands of American families that would love to adopt all 28 of our babies.
Yeah.
If we could just connect the two, it would be neat.
I think it was good that I was warned about that before I went to the baby house, because then I felt like I had to shut it down a little. Like, you're not taking any of these babies home. Like, this is
Yeah.
not.
No, we hear that often, but especially the ladies enjoy being at the baby shelter. But even us guys, I mean, it's just amazing to sit there and just love on these babies, and it's so healthy for them.
Yeah.
They need more attention, and they need to be cuddled and loved on.
Yeah.
And so that's one of our jobs, is when we go there, we just want to give attention to the babies.
Yep. Yes.
What was your experience on some of the outreaches, like the girls empowerment, the shoe outreach, the eye outreach, the
Yeah.
churches? What kind of things do you remember, and what were your feelings?
Something that stood out to me during that the female hygiene outreach, was I connected with one girl, and I could tell she was very curious. She was looking at me, just like intently looking at me. And she said, like, how old are you? And I said, oh, I'm in my 30s. And she's like, okay, just looking intently. And she's like, baby. And I'm like, nope, I don't have a baby. Like, I'm not married yet. And she was just continuing to intently look at me. And she just goes, I want to be just like you.
Oh, wow.
And I took a little like, wait, what? And then I looked at her and I said, well, if that's what you want, if you don't want to be married, that's good. And if you do and you want to have children, that's good too. And I was like, I've never really heard that. It's so different, but it's so much more of an option, I think, in our culture maybe than in theirs. And so that was just an interesting moment where I had to take a step back and realize that maybe she'd never been told, like, there are many ways to live to your potential and love God, and it might not look like what you've done, or what others have done.
Well, being in leadership at your church, I really want to thank you guys for sponsoring our church building, especially while you guys are still trying to build your own new church building.
Yes.
You didn't wait and do yours first. You actually reached out and helped us, and I hope you were happy with the church that we built. We're very proud of it and happy with it. But what was your experience at Hope Church?
Yeah. So it is a beautiful church. That's the first church I've seen shaped as a cross. So that it's definitely unique in that way. It was beautiful. One of the more beautiful buildings that we saw there. And it fits a lot of people. So when we were there for the Friday night service with the youth, there was hundreds of kids in there, hundreds of teens, and then us. And I never felt crowded in there. It was spacious. And we actually, when we pulled up, the music was just bumping so loud. They're already like not even into worship yet. They're just pre-worship. And we're like, we feel like we're coming into a nightclub right now. Like we're like, this is amazing. So there was so much joy in that room, and just an attitude of worship.
Well, thank you so much.